Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks so much for joining me here. So we're going to be diving back into 28 years later, the Bone Temple. So it looks like Sony is doing the marketing rounds here, and they put out a brand new behind the scenes kind of featurette here showing us part of the Bone Temple. And this behind the scene featurette is called The Confrontation. A lot of it takes place around Dr. Kelson and his confrontation with Samson, and that whole relationship and how it's going to be unfolding in this movie. So let's get into this featurette clip. Let's see what it has to show us. And bear in mind, guys, I will have to stop and start and talk in between just to avoid copyright here, so I do apologize for that. But anyway, let's get going.
If we're going to follow a film like 28 years later, you've got to come up with something interesting. And this was really original. The Bone Temple, which Nia DaCosta's directed, is so extraordinarily intense.
Yeah, I mean, for everything that we've seen so far from the trailers, I mean, it does look pretty intense. I mean, we see this kind of ritual taking place within the Bone Temple. We know the Jimmy Gang's going to be turning up. We know the Jimmy Gang are kind of like torturing those civilians at that village kind of farmhouse. So it's very visceral, and, you know, there is a lot going on in this movie that still doesn't make a lot of sense. There's a lot of unanswered questions, kind of like there was going into 28 years later. I mean, we had so many questions on our minds. It's like, what's happening here in this scene? There's some sort of ritual going on. Maybe Kelson is trying to kind of exorcise away the infection or something. You know, my questions is, you know, just as good as yours, I guess, when it comes to what exactly is going on.
Really intense. Nia has her own identity and a way of going about things. I was very impressed.
I wanted to do a different approach.
Are you ready?
The Bone Temple steps back and what people...
Okay, so just going back there for a second. So we did see inside the Richard Dunn Sports Center. So we've covered this quite a lot on the channel. There was a big theory that I put out probably about 4 or 5 months ago now, talking about the Richard Dunn Sports Center. It's an abandoned sports center that's been closed now for years. The Jimmy Gang was seen around it in the first trailer, and there was a theory going around that I posited saying that this would be their base of operations, and we can see them here kind of standing in the swimming pool inside the Richard Dunn Sports Center. Obviously Nia DaCosta there directing the Jimmy Gang, and it does indeed look like it's going to be their base of operations. So it's going to be interesting to see how this kind of factors into the story. You know, how did they arrive there? What have they done to the inside of it? You know, what is their kind of overall mission, and what does their kind of home base look like? That's something that I'm interested to find out.
There's her own identity and a...
Okay, let's keep going forward. Okay, so we're in that farmhouse by the look of it. We did see in the trailer that it gets set on fire, and then we saw you know, Sir Jimmy Crystal outside kind of yelling into the sky as the barn is on fire. So we know this barn is going to erupt into flames at some point. Let's keep going forward. Again, back inside the Richard Dunn Sports Center, we can see Sir Jimmy Crystal. He's kind of sat in his makeshift throne up there, kind of above the rest of the Jimmy Gang, kind of placing himself as kind of like this Antichrist Messiah, kind of above everybody else, on that kind of makeshift throne up there. Okay, let's keep going forward, and let's get back to where we were. So we saw this bit here, and we were around about here. Okay.
The Bone Temple steps back and what people love about 28 Days Later. In a world like this where everyone's fending for themselves and the societal structures don't exist, some people choose anarchy and violence, and some people choose love.
That's what we want to see more of. We want to see about the societal structures in these kind of post-apocalyptic kind of zombie worlds, like The Walking Dead and things like this. You know, the way that humans live, the way they survive, the way they band together into different groups, they have different objectives. Some you know, villages are like purely defensive. You get scavengers, you get, you know, you get the evil group like the Jimmy Gang. You get all these different groups of humans with different objectives and different ways of surviving in a post-apocalyptic world. And that's kind of what makes these kind of things interesting. Every single character has their own personality. They deal with things in different ways. And obviously we're going to be following Spike's character here as well, after he had that confrontation with the Jimmy Gang at the end of the last film. So what's going to become of him? Is he ultimately going to end up killing Sir Jimmy Crystal? Is he going to become a fully fledged member of the Jimmy Gang himself? What exactly is going to happen to him? And what's going to happen to his dad as well? It doesn't seem that Aaron Taylor Johnson is actually in this film. He's not in any of the marketing. He's not on IMDb. So whether he's going to be showing up, that's kind of a big question as well. Okay, so some people are choosing anarchy, some people are choosing love. obviously Dr. Kelson there. The Bone Temple was all about, you know, the human spirit and death and kind of remembering that. And, you know, that's kind of why the Bone Temple exists, to remember death, like he says in the other film. Let's keep going here.
It's a tale of confrontation. Kelson identifies in Samson some glimmer of human awareness. This is interesting. I think immediately the doctor in him, the curious scientist in him, is going, what is going on here?
I've been developing.
This is what's going to really drive the story for me. This confrontation with Samson, he can identify that there's some humanity left within him. And, you know, ultimately we saw in the second trailer that we did a breakdown of on the channel. I'll link that in the description if you did miss that. We see that he has that vial, like a kind of an injection needle, that he's injecting Samson with something. So he seems to come up with some sort of recipe to kind of bring out the humanity or suppress the rage within him. Either way, it seems that he has come up with a method. How he's done that, how he's managed to bring together the ingredients, formulate the kind of, the drug or the antidote, if you like. That's kind of going to be interesting to play out and see how Kelson comes up with that.
This is interesting. I think immediately the doctor in him, the curious scientist in him, is going, what is going on here?
I've been developing an idea about the nature of the infection.
Okay, so here we go. So exactly what I was just talking about here. This is where we're beginning to see the story unfold here of how he's going to kind of come up with a cure, or at least a temporary cure. We can see here that he's got drawings of what appears to be the lungs. It looks like the infection. These kind of little dots here look to be the infection, infecting the lungs. And he's got all these writings, and obviously being a doctor and a scientist, his brain works to investigate these kind of things. He's going to use his training, medicinal kind of herbs and things. And he's a pretty smart guy, so it looks like he's going to be figuring out the antidote here.
The nature of the infection.
Might it mean that there's a way out? Could it mean that there's an answer?
And now, a leap into the unknown.
I mean, when you think about it, when you're sat around in a post-apocalyptic UK and you can't leave and you've got nothing else to do, then, you know, you've got a lot of free time to kind of come up with the cure. But, yeah, I mean, it would be an absolute miracle if he does manage to cure Samson. Is it only the alphas that he could cure? Could he cure the rest of the infected? I'm not exactly sure what happens. You know, and would Samson revert to being a human? Or would he revert to being a human without his kind of mental faculties? Would his mental awareness return? Could he form conversations? I mean, these are big questions. I mean, does he just turn back to a normal human, or does he turn back to a human but kind of with a mushed brain because the virus has kind of damaged his behavioral kind of core in his brain? Again, big questions that we have here.
Known.
But there we go, guys. So, all in all, pretty intense, pretty visceral, and the major plot of the story here, aside from following along with Spike and his kind of core journey, the major plot is going to be Samson and Kelson here, and Kelson coming up with this antidote. How does he come up with it? What does it do? What does this mean for Samson? What does it mean for their relationship? What does it mean for the infection as a whole? I mean, does he cure all of the infected? I mean, that's kind of what we're going to have to find out. But man, I'm so there for it. Take my money. I can't wait to see it. And yeah, I'm really, really hyped. So guys, jump in the comment section. Let me know what you think of this small breakdown here. Do you have any questions, or maybe there's anything of important noteworthiness that I kind of missed out? If there is, leave it in the comment section and let me know how hyped you are. Are you looking forward to it? Are you disappointed with what you saw from 28 years later? Whatever your thoughts are, do let me know in the comment section. And with that down, guys, I will see you in the next video.